Now, second most important thing, that is DSSB examination. In the previous video, I have covered about DSSB, the basic contents, in which I told you the paper pattern and the number of marks which are denominated to the subject in DSSB. Now the next question arises, how to prepare for DSSB examination. So it is a complete examination of 300 marks, and out of which you need to have a good cutoff to clear the final examination. So now let's begin with commerce. So when I talk about the commerce subject, you need to cover the different MCQs, and most importantly, the MCQs could come from anywhere. Means the 200 questions you are not sure from where it will come. So we can start one by one its preparation. So the books which we can refer would be as under: firstly, class 11th business studies, class 12th business studies, class 11th and 12th accounts, that is most important. And most important thing, no need to do economics, because economics is taken as a different subject in DSSB. So we need to just focus on commerce. This is still +1 and +2. After that, if we talk about the accounting, it is divided into three parts, that is financial accounting, cost accounting, and management accounting. It is divided into three parts, so you need to have just a focus of all these. Then when you talk about other things, that is statistics, many questions are asked from statistics, that is mean, median, mode, then frequency questions, then ogive curve. So these questions are also very much important. After this, when you are done with this, other important thing is from income tax, that income tax, what are the slab rates, what are the present slab rates, and might be a question is given to calculate the final income tax amount. Next question could be from CPA, that is Consumer Protection Act 2019. So in Consumer Protection Act 2019, there are various limits, that is district, state, and national. At district level, the limit is 1 crore for the cases. At state, it is 1 crore to 10 crore. At national, it is more than 10 crore. So I'm giving you MCQs in between so that you remember the important MCQs. Other important thing when you have to do is related to share capital. This is again a chapter from grade +2, that is share capital. In this, you need to calculate the reserves, that is the amount of capital reserve to be calculated. For that, number of shares allotted minus number of shares reissued into the balance of amount. Suppose the difference between the amount is 20 minus 15, and the number of shares which are reissued is 150. So you will calculate 150 into 5 is equals to 750. Next important question from accounts would be related to bills payable and bills receivable. Suppose there is a question of bills payable. In bills payable, suppose A is creditor and B is debtor. A is creditor, B is debtor, and a certain bill has been drawn on B. Now, what amount of bill to be prepared, and who will give which amount to the person? Suppose A is giving to B a bill. A is the creditor, B is the debtor or the customer. This is clear. Second step, to know the amount. To know the amount, there it is given there is certain discount percentage. So you need to calculate the discount percentage as well. Suppose 70,000 is the amount and discount percent is 2%. So 70,000 का 2% किया तो 1400 आ गया. और जब हम ये कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं, then you should know what is the amount of bill to be paid. So 70,000 minus 1400, 68,600 is the amount. Clear? Then most important question which was asked in DSSB examination every time, and it is one of the important questions, that is who is called as father of accounting. So who is called as father of accounting? Luca Pacioli. He is known as father of accounting. Next question from marketing. I suppose 5 to 7 questions have been covered. The next question from marketing, that is MBO. What is MBO? MBO is management by objective, and it was given by Peter F. Drucker. Other important question, what are Maslow's need hierarchy theory? So you need to cover In need hierarchy theory, there are how many stages? 5. And the 5 stages you need to remember: physiological needs, social, esteem, self-actualization. These all needs are to be fulfilled, right? Next important question, when we talk about F.W. Taylor. So F.W. Taylor has given how many principles of management? F.W. Taylor has given 14 principles of management. And secondly, if I talk about other person, that is uh, F.W. Taylor is known as father of scientific management, and Henry Fayol is called as the father of general management or the administrative part. That is very much clear. Now, next question arises from this topic, that is principles of management. Next question arises, what is gangplank? So, gangplank is used in unity of order, one of the principles of F.W. Taylor, in which it is that the gangplank is the particular link between two communication levels, and it is the shortest route which is done from one person to another, that is called a gangplank. It is the shortest route for communication, for formal communication, you can say this. And next question which arises, that is related to a general policy which was introduced by Modi government, that is Make in India campaign. So that is also important. Now, other important question which would be there is again from the subject, that is we would cover accounts. In that, we have to find the odd one out from the following. First, it is cost accounting, management accounting, financial accounting, and corporate accounting. You need to find out the odd one out from these. So, if we talk about the corporate accounting, it is different from cost management and financial accounting. So, corporate accounting is the odd one out. We will find it out. Now, the next question of accounts, that is most important. When you are making a particular transactions, when you're making the transactions, so what is the thing which account has to do? It is basically recording, classifying, summarizing, and interpreting. This is, I am giving you one question, and this one question covers the whole book of class 11th of accounts. So, recording. Where we do the recording? We do the recording of entries in journal and ledger. One is done, recording. Now the second comes, recording. Then next is classifying. The classification will be done in different books of accounts. That could be sales book, cash book, general book, etc. Recording, classifying, then we have to do the summarization. Now where do I summarize? I will do the summarization in balance sheet, trading, and P&L account. So that is the chronological order. First is trading, then next is P&L, and the last one is the balance sheet which we prepare. After this, fourth part, that is interpretation. So how interpretation would be done? For the interpretation, you have certain things, that is the cash flow statement and the ratio analysis. Now, my next question arises. This was in the last 40 seconds. I have given an overview of grade +1 book of accounts. Now, the next question arises. What is the next question? That is regarding the ratio analysis. So, the one of the most important ratios is the current ratio. The formula for current ratio is current assets over current liabilities, and their particular amount is 2:1. That is clear. And when we talk about the quick ratio, there we do not include the closing stock. Other current assets remain the same over current liabilities, and its ratio is 1:1. So from here, a calculative question can come where you have to calculate the current assets or current liabilities. That is also important. Now, from ratio analysis, the most important question is of ROI, that is return on investment or return on capital employed. And the other most important question is from the ratio of closing stock turnover ratio, that is COGS over average stock. Clear? How you have to calculate the average stock? In the turnover ratio, average stock is calculated opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2, and COGS is cost of goods sold, which you have to take the purchases plus direct expenses minus closing stock. That would be your COGS, that is cost of goods consumed. Now, the next question which arises in the examination point of view, it is related to the aspect of PODSC, that is PODSCOB. Now, what is PODSCOB? PODSCOB is a particular technique of management in which we have to fulfill the various functions. What is that? Planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. These are the 5 functions. Now, the question from this topic would be PODSCOB. The question would be, first question from PODSCOB would be that name the 2 activities which are interdependent on one another. That is, planning and controlling are 2 activities which are interdependent upon each other. Next question, where do we take a corrective action? Do we take a corrective action in planning or controlling? So the answer would be, we take a corrective action in controlling, because it is the part of there. It is the process of controlling only. Next important question could be from next topic, that is, if we talk about P's of marketing. So there are 4 P's of marketing: product, place, price, promotion. And other 3 P's, that is people, process, and physical evidence. Product, place, price, promotion, and other 3 P's, process, physical evidence, and public, persons, people. So these are the 7 P's of marketing that is most important. Now, after covering this topic, other important question arises about the pastel framework. Now, what is pastel framework? That is the physical, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal. So this is the basic framework which is of the book of business environment. We used to have a book of business environment in grade at the college level, and there we used to do these questions related with it. So how the MCQ would arise? Suppose there is an economic transaction from country A to country B of amount rupees 40,000. So this economic transaction would come under the economic environment under the pastel framework. Clear? Other question which we would have in this examination would be from CFS, that is, I'm going again to accounts topic, that is CFS, cash flow statement. So cash flow statement, you need to know the things how we record. So there is first it is recording of transactions. From first is financing, investing are the 3 types of activities which we need to record. First is cash flow from operating activities, cash flow from financing activities. Third is cash flow from investing activities. So all these 3 need to be recorded. When we talk about cash flow from different activities, you should learn three examples of each and make a final conclusion sheet, which I always say to prepare a formula sheet. In that you will record the cash flow statements, particular points. And if I talk about the chapter of ratio, I have already given you 2-3 important points. So after this, in the next video, I will cover the topic questions of commerce, which are very important from the point of view of DSSB, and it would be the expected questions for DSSB 2025. Thank you so much.